It's the final hour, the post trip on Nemo Nation. Let's see what we can see with Madison with a T.
Hey, Madison with a T, what's happening over there, sister? Hope you're doing well. I hope the world is treating you in a good shape. Madison with a T is making it happen over there. We're making it happen over here at the Ernest and Moriel Convention Center. My good friend Phone Master Dre is here. You enjoying yourself so far?
Oh, God, I'm enjoying it. I'm hanging out and getting to meet handsome people like this, man. Oh, and I get to sit next to this guy, Dave Nemo. I'm loving it. And the coffee's good.
Handsome dude sitting across from you, huh?
That's what I'm saying. I'm a little nervous.
I don't mean me. I know, dude. Every place we go, it's like I'm the handsomest dude here. Not no more.
Man, this is a killer collaboration of people. I'm ready for this interview.
I am ready too. Dave Nemo, of course, who sits at the center of Nemo Nation. We're here at the Trimble Conference. Insight happening all over the place. Dave, would you care to do the honors of introducing our next guestamundo?
Shane Hagen is with us. He is the Senior Solutions Architect at Cleo. And that's all I know about you. So we're going to find out more about you while you're sitting here. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
We got a chance, Dave, to talk as you guys were doing that great interview just in the last half hour.
Dave Elniski.
Good job, by the way. Those
are
some good people up there doing their thing as well, too. We got a lot of good friends up in the northern part of North America. Best neighbor anybody could ask for. Let's talk about you, though, for a second. You were telling me before the break that you spend a lot of time talking to IT people.
Yes.
That's what you do. It does not mean that those IT conversations don't directly affect the American trucker on the road. Can you kind of explain what your connective tissue is to them by way of explaining your connective tissue to those IT folks?
Connective tissue is a great way to put it. So we effectively connect businesses together. So carriers to your customers, to your warehouses, to wherever you're delivering the loads to, we're connecting those businesses together. And how does that connect to the drivers? It's we are directly pulling information that the truckers are creating when they're moving loads across the country. So whether it's where you're at or if you've arrived at the destination, we're making sure that information is getting to where it needs to go to your customers, making sure that they're in the know and up to date with where you're at.
And I asked this question of him as well, Dave, over the break. I said, and I know what he does and I understand its value, but the inherent question I ask you is somebody at that cocktail party says, what do you do? What do you do? Can you take me through what a day looks like for you on the job?
Yeah, so it's a lot of conversations, right? And I'm having a lot of conversations as a solution architect, right? What I do is talk to people about the problems that they're having and how our technology can solve issues that they're experiencing, make day-to-day life better for them, and really kind of drive more efficient processes across their business.
My final question, and I'm sure Dave will have some stuff for you too as well. So what are the challenges right now? I mean, we can talk about what's going to be discussed here on the floor, which will be part of that conversation. But connective tissue is important. Sometimes, as football players find out, you tear the connective tissue, and then you're in the rehab. Where are your worries? What are you concerned about with the onboarding of so much data? And then Dave has a really tough question for you about data. He's asked only one other person today.
Okay.
But what are your concerns? What are your big worries in regards to your area of the supply chain? What can go wrong, and what are you doing to make sure that it doesn't?
I think it mainly stems from expectations, right? Everybody's expecting more information and more information faster in a more rapid time frame. So just communicating quicker and more efficiently and more reliably is what we're hearing from carriers. Carriers have that requirement from their customers, and that goes upstream to the customer's customer, right? So it's all these connections. They have to be strong, they have to be quick, and you have to be confident that they're happening and information is getting shared across these businesses.
Ask him your question.
Okay, the question is, does data do or does data does? In other words, is data singular or plural? I always thought data did. Data tells me as singular, but now it's the data does.
Yeah, so I mean, I think technically
Data are.
Data is technically, it's like fish, right? Like fishes.
Yeah,
it's,
I know, right?
It's like a non-plural word, I guess.
But it is kind of cool, though. But you brought up the idea of fish, though. That
Yeah.
really visually, we were talking about the cloud earlier and how much I love the idea of the cloud, because as much as it looks like one compact thing, what it really is lots of little drops of water.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
kind of amassed. But the fish thing is even maybe a more interesting kind of way of thinking about it, because if you're thinking about a school of fish, they move together, they seem to be in unison, they seem to be of a hive mind, but they're not. Fish are not of a hive mind.
Right.
So that's, I guess, the kind of question is too, Dave. I mean, because the idea is we're always looking for outliers, we're always looking for, when we look at polling data and all that kind of stuff, there's
Right.
always the least possible scenario, the best case scenario, the worst case scenario. So is it both?
It might be. So I think
And
technically.
at one moment it do and the other moment it does?
It's not only both, it's everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything. I think it's both. Yeah. Technically, I have a degree in computer science. So
No,
there's-
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Shocking. So technically, right? I think there's a datum, which is a singular point of data.
Oh,
I
Dave, by the
think-
way, my father-in-law,
Man,
he's
I'm
my
loving
father-in-law,
this.
by the way. His
Okay.
eyes got it was like two singular datums, like working together.
So that's to get real technical on you, but I think that's how it is defined. Data is kind of it's a plural. It is a plural, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is, too, is the fact that, he has a good friend who is a regular or recurring guest on the show named Rick Gobble, and Rick is a big man when it comes to rules and regulations and security measures, the FMCSA and all that kind of stuff. And I will do my worst impersonation of Rick Gobble. You ain't got to know the rule. You got to know where it is in the book. And so my question is for a truck driver, for somebody who, as we talked about before, smart people, but they're focused on staying between the white lines.
Sure.
You're staying between the numbers. How much literacy in regards to data do you feel like your customers who aren't analyzing that data need to have? And do you feel like that there are ways of getting them there in regards to, like I said, Dave asking the question, of course, data, datum, doesn't, all that kind of stuff. But in regards to when you're talking to clients, if you were talking to a truck driver, what would you give them advice on in regards to how much do they know about the data that they're looking at? I mean, they should know what they're looking at, but how deep do they have to go?
So I think if you're using whether it's a software or your ELD that's in your truck, you don't need to understand every little thing that's happening under the hood. If it's a good software, if it's a good interface that you're working with.
By the way, he means under the hood of your software.
Yeah.
You guys need to know what's under the hood of your truck, by the way. That's why we have that segment.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you're getting at, right?
The metaphorical hood, yes.
Right.
So I think it's, as long as you're working with a solid solution there, it should be presenting data in a way that's relevant to you, and you don't need to understand everything that's happening underneath that.
I have my last nerdy question, Dave, because I'm a big baseball fan.
Okay.
And by the way, I was in heaven for 7 games, just just rooting for both teams to play wonderful. The idea that when you talk about the idea of Moneyball, and that's been the kind of great, I think, to some degree, both for training, for safety, for the whole thing, that the idea that a truck driver, he or she can look at their individual data and then compare it against other data and begin to make choices of how to improve their game.
Sure.
Do you feel like we're there already? That the driver, that he or she can look at the numbers that you guys are looking at and go, okay, if I get a better deal on gas and I sleep at a different time, it looks like that I can use this data to maximize my profits. Not today or tomorrow, but over the course of the year. Am I making sense, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I'm following. Maybe Dave heard that.
Well, no, but the idea that it's like, do you feel like that the data that you work, and we're going to get to exactly what you do, because what you do, you're being very gracious here in talking to truck drivers, but you don't deal with truck drivers.
No.
But do you feel like that we have data now that allows the driver to look at a spreadsheet and begin to make decisions about how he or she can drive based on the data they'll get, in the same way that a baseball player can improve their swing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the data is there, whether it's being presented to you or shared with you and not being gate kept.
Right.
I think is the key. So the data is there, whether or not
you choose to use it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you've been very kind and generous in talking about that. So we got two other big questions. The first of which is tell everybody what you do, because you spend most of your time talking to most of your kind. Mm-hmm. You talk to IT guys. And then we want to talk about your company overall.
Sure.
And their position and all that stuff. So tell folks what you do now that you've come out of your cloud and come down to the road. Take us up to the cloud with you.
Sure. So, yeah, my day-to-day is having conversations with folks, figuring out what kind of issues they're experiencing at a technology level for the most part. And then I take them through our product. I show them how it works, what it does, and ultimately try to overlay that with their current process and how they do things, and make them understand, hey, this is how our technology can make your lives better, how you can be more efficient, serve your customers better, and have a better bottom line, make more money. So that's really what I try to show when I'm talking to folks.
Okay. Now, of course, the obvious question, Dave, is what's your product? Mm-hmm. Explain the product now, and that will explain the company.
Sure. So we are Cleo Integration Cloud, and effectively we're a solution that sits between the supply chain, right? So between every company in the supply chain, we could potentially be there. We are connecting information between carriers, retailers, warehouses, making sure that the information that they need to share is going back and forth. So what that boils down to is B2B integration. And usually or traditionally that's done with EDI. I know I'm getting a little
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
But that's typically how it's done, and we facilitate that back and forth, right? Make sure that everybody's communicating the information that they need to communicate with each other.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially you serve as a bridge.
Yes.
So you're working with, all right, so make sure I'm clear still, because like I said, I've read up on you guys, but the idea is, like I said, you work mostly with IT people, but your company makes sure that the people who are actually on the boots on the ground running the supply chain actually have a conduit bridge, a passage, a liminal cloud through which that their information can move through to the people who actually are moving the supply chain. The people who are, I guess what we call prompting the supply chain, are able to have a pathway to continue to prompt those who are moving it.
Exactly.
And I mean that literally. I mean, they all play an important part, but a prompt is not the same thing as the person who pushes you gets to stay where they are while the other person goes out and moves. That's kind of the core of what you guys
exactly.
do.
I mean, there's cycles all across the supply chain, right? If you're a carrier, your customers are constantly asking you for, move this load for me, right? So we can automate that request where the customer is saying, hey, take this load and move it from A to B. We take that request and push it to the carrier. We push it to that TMS system, and it shows up there. And then the response to that, the updates to that, the invoices on that load, we all will pull that information and send it to your customer so that, again, everybody's in the know, everybody's up to date on what's going on.
Are you worried? Do you have these days, and it's been on a lot of people's minds, it's a big thing for Dave, do you have cybersecurity worries? I'm telling you, he lives in fear of this. He lives in fear of the friends of Hugo Chavez and Putin's pushed, pulling in and pouring through stuff and pouring through data. I'd like to go your own crystal ball. I know it's not your métier or your area of expertise, but I'm sure you know a lot about it. Do you feel like that enough is being done in the sector? I know you guys feel like you are, but do you feel like enough is, because remember, one person gets breached, even if you have a firewall, it means they're 1 inch closer to you.
Yeah, I think there's standardization that we do that is making that happen, but we
go ahead.
We across the industry there's standards that we're trying to follow, but that folks fall through the cracks, right? There's laggards, if you will, and so those laggards, like you said, can
jeopardize everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if you know Mark Graney, who wrote the Gray Man novels. He actually has a whole premise. And by the way, just like Tom Clancy, he does his research. World War III almost gets set off because one person opens up an email and clicks on the wrong thing. And we joke about it, but there are ways of doing that if you get into the right system.
Right.
So how do you, and like I said, I've read up on you guys. I'm not asking you because you've had problems. I'm asking you because how do we as responsible actors in the space act as ambassadors for responsible acting?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's following the right procedures. I think it's training too. Especially nowadays, there's a lot of like social engineering that folks can do with AI, for example. Right?
Oh, it's crazy.
You can take a picture of me and have me do something crazy in a video, and that is all of a sudden some sort of proof for something that I've done. So folks could use that to social engineer some crazy scenarios and bait people into giving up proprietary information.
I'm going to give you one, and like I said, we just got in the weeds here, but I'm going to give you one. I don't care. I'm having a good time. We like our new friends. I got an email, so I'm talking to a friend of mine. He's a veteran. He's a well-placed veteran. He has set up an opportunity for us to have a relationship with a nonprofit. That nonprofit at a reduced number would be able to both advertise but also be featured on our show. He's been really behind the scenes trying to find an actual sponsor for them as opposed to making them come out of their marketing budget. Been waiting on that patiently. It's not a rush. It's a good thing. We're happy about it. I get an email from him where he is writing an attorney for another company. And in that hacked email, is escrow accounts of clicking. I am BCC'd on it, meaning that the intelligence of it is that it's attempting to replicate him like going, I've closed the deal for us, wanted you to see this, which means they got into his information. Think about what they've done.
Yeah.
Think about what they've done in regards to our communications, what they've hacked in between us, and all the hope in that. I'm the son of an attorney. Ain't nobody put nothing in no escrow account for a marketing campaign. But I thought about that, and I think about people's hopes and dreams, man, and that's the new game. That's the new fraud. It isn't just hacking into your system. It's using what is best about us.
Exactly.
To unravel us.
Exactly. And I've seen the same exact thing at my job. And it's a similar situation. They play on your emotions, right? They think,
it's no longer wait till you see this.
Yes.
It's like they have information that has passed between you and it's got your hopes up. Like, we got them right here.
Exactly. And so I've seen that, and I've called it out. It's happened to me. I've been copied on an email. I said, hey guys, this looks fake. This isn't for us. This is definitely an attempt to,
it's all my dreams coming true. Click.
Yeah. Oh, more money from one of our biggest customers. Yeah. Let's go get it.
And it's crazy. And like I said, the only thing that we can really do is kind of remind our partners. That's the biggest thing I think we can often do. Anytime we almost get hacked, or anytime we do get hacked, we can't live in shame. We got to go. Just want to let you know I was hacked. Here's why. Once again, same story. Within 5 minutes of getting that email, I was already like, no, I was getting ready to. I call him, and he goes, yeah, I got hacked. Nice. I was getting ready to call you. He said instantly he knew, but he had no shame about it.
That's exactly how you need to do it, because otherwise
that's
folks
how they
might
win.
keep falling for it.
That's how they win.
Yeah.
That's how they win. Dre, I feel I keep talking to him. I feel like I'm going into the weeds here. How am I doing on time? Am I good?
We're real good.
He's sticking around. There.
Yeah,
This guy's sticking around.
Absolutely.
What's your own origin story? We always, like I said, we make a new friend. We feel like we got a friend here today. So tell us about yourself.
So I live in Philadelphia at the moment. I've been there for about 5 years. I grew up in central Pennsylvania, so Harrisburg, Hershey, if anybody's familiar, I'm sure.
No, we know it.
Maybe we've passed through at some point. But so I grew up there, went to college at Penn State, and have been living in the...
I think y'all made a mistake. I think you made a mistake. Good luck.
It's a sore subject.
I don't know who exactly you're getting, but remember this. There's a lot of good coaches in the MAC. You don't have to. Don't go pilfer anybody else. There's a lot of people at Notre Dame who are cackling from on high about the events down in Baton Rouge. But yeah, it's just interesting, by the way. So Penn State is the place you went, a little whiteout, a little Happy Valley.
Yes, sir.
And then where'd you go from there?
So right after college, I got a job at a similar company to what I'm doing today. A little different focus, but they were based in Philly, so that's what brought me to Philly, and then stuck around. And Cleo, the company I'm at now, was gracious enough to let me work remotely. Cleo's based in Chicago, so
5th biggest city in America. You know that, Dave? Philadelphia. Yeah.
Chicago's number 2, right?
No, it's no. It's New York, then Los Angeles, then Chicago, and then you have and then Houston.
Houston, yep.
But it depends how much you're counting in Houston, because it goes out for a long time. And then you get to our friends in Philly. Here's the crazy thing. You know what number 7 is?
Is it Miami?
It's San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows that. And then you find out how many Fortune 500 companies there. But back to Philadelphia, it's a crazy big city. I think people forget about the fact that its working class sort of values and its chip on its shoulder is that people forget that's a big place.
Philly gets a bad rap, man.
Well, no, because Pittsburgh is like, if there's a northern equivalent to New Orleans, it's Pittsburgh. In regards to population size, too. I mean, people have decided that Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are equivalencies. Philadelphia is a monster.
Yeah, they're
it's an international city.
It's like you're in a different state. They might as well be in different states.
What's the great joke? Somebody says that Philadelphia is an international city faking working class roots because it's big, dude. I mean, it's a big place. I mean, it is. Center of a lot of things as well, too. So you go to Philadelphia, and there you are. How long have you been doing this particular job?
I've been here for 2.5 years. But the job I had at the company I was at before
was it supply chain related, or was it connective related?
It was more connective, like internal connectivity rather than supply chain connectivity. So
what's the difference?
There's different technical reasons, different motions and patterns that you'll follow for internal connectivity rather than external. External, there's a lot of you want to rely on other people's technology, and you need to put a lot of monitoring around that, making sure their stuff is working rather than you're just worrying about your own things. So there's just some different patterns and different focus.
Let me ask you some other questions too, because one of the problems with technology in the trucking sphere is that there's a lot of self-certification that goes on. A lot of people, when it comes to ELDs and a whole bunch of other stuff, it's like, no, it's fine. We certified it. And then, of course, Dave and I actually talked about for a while having these ELDs are no longer certified segment on the show, and you could do one every week in that way. Do you find it a challenge to work in an industry where sometimes it's on the absolute cutting edge and sometimes it's in Tulsa of 1972? I mean, does that play any part in where you stand in this bridge?
100%. The entire basis of what supply chain communication comes from is from technology that's from the 80s. Walmart started the standard back in the 80s, and we've followed that as a supply chain standard since then. So were there no tweaks during COVID? Because Dave and I talked about that. Were there no tweaks during COVID? It definitely evolves, and
but it's evolving. There's been no great disruption. What the pattern that was established by Walmart in the 80s and the other people.
Exactly. And, it's just so ingrained now that it's impossible to replace.
Yeah, don't take left turns.
Yes.
You know that, right, Dave? No left turns. You know that, by the way, that they literally plan so many of their trips not to take left turns. And it's just like, you think, it's ridiculous. And then you go, oh, my God, that's kind of brilliant. And but yeah, that pattern is there. Because I know there were some changes during COVID, if I remember correctly, where some of our friends actually realized if you have inner-city buildings where nobody's in them, rather than let them become rat-infested hellholes, turn them into immediate warehouses where you can resupply quicker so you don't run out of toilet paper, was part of the game.
Sure.
What are you most excited about being here for? Which got you excited?
So I'm doing stuff like this. They have me doing another interview, I guess, on another podcast.
Whose? Maybe we know him.
The Logistics of Logistics with
Joe
Lynch.
Joe Lynch, terrific.
I just saw Joe about an hour ago walk past.
He's a terrific guy, and he actually knows his business, and he actually knows how to talk to people too. So you have a really great time with him.
He comes on with us. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
This show is kind of an aggregate. We just drop everybody in, and everybody kind of comes by and says what's going on. We just got you for a bit of a longer form because we're covering the Trimble Conference over here, Insight at the Anderson Memorial Convention Center on Nemo Nation. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm talking to him. We're doing an on-stage. They have a demo showdown where technology companies get to come and show their product for 5 minutes. You get a 5-minute timer. So we're getting up on stage and showing our product up there. And then we have a booth and, just having conversations with folks. So it's all good stuff. It's all, just learning about problems that folks are having and seeing if we can solve them.
You and I should talk later on about maybe dropping in from time to time on Nemo Nation and keeping us up with what you're doing. I've been dying to say this for the entire interview. It's a joke you've heard a million times. Come back, Shane. You promise us that you'll do that?
That's crazy. I was given a VHS of that movie.
I tell you this, brother.
Sat in my bedroom for years.
Once you see it, though, once you see what a badass Alan Ladd is as Shane, you're like, that's a pretty good name to have, man, because he kills those guys. I mean, he kills some bad dudes, man. It's great stuff. There's a big debate, by the way. Is Shane dead at the end of the movie, Dave? Yes or no?
I don't want to say.
All right.
Well, I can tell you one thing, though. Shane had to stand on a box to kiss a girl.
Oh, yeah?
Not this Shane, though.
No, not
man,
this
tall dude. Shane Hagen has joined us this morning. Tell them one more time where they can go to find out more about your company.
So you can find us at Cleo.com.
And you're on all the socials?
Yeah, all the socials.
If you go to the website, they'll have all the links where you can go, right?
Yeah, we can put some links in there. I don't have all of it off the top of my head, but we're on LinkedIn. We're on.
Yeah, you got all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's all linked there. Shane's a good dude. He's a cool dude.